Hello, it's Ruby and the day is finally here. I'm showing you the academic planner for 2023 to 2024, which I've been getting so many questions about, honestly, like more questions than ever too. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a full flip through of the planner and also setting up the planner ready for the new academic year. I'm starting my masters at Oxford in September. This is going to be really helpful, so as always I'm just so excited to be sharing this with you. If you've been following me for a while you'll know the backstory of this, but I designed this planner because I couldn't find the perfect planner. I've always loved planning. The whole way through my time at school I used a planner. I actually used multiple planners because I could never find one that could do everything that I wanted it to do. So I'd have one for like my homework assignments, and then I'd have another one that I'd use when I got home, and I'd have another one which I'd use for planning meetings or keeping track of things that weren't academic but were still school related, and it was just all a little bit convoluted. So I wanted to compile everything in one place and also make it fun, make it aesthetic, you know, have it as the kind of thing that you want to display on your desk. And that's where the Pumpkin Productivity Academic Planner came from. And still it kind of feels a bit otherworldly when I hold one of these in my hands, even though this is the fourth one that we've released. It was a dream of mine growing up to design planners, and if you told 15-year-old me that I would be releasing my fourth academic planner right now, I wouldn't believe you. For someone who loves stationery, for someone who loves planning, this is a dream come true to be able to design this planner for you. You might be able to notice the beautiful cover design. I actually think that this year's cover design is my favourite, and overall this planner is my favourite of the ones that we've released, which I say every year. The first year's theme was botanical flowers. Second year we did astrology. Third year we did nature, and this year we've gone for cozy academia, which is my favourite theme by far. So we've got some envelopes and leaves on the front, and the whole thing is just quite cozy and autumnal. And I'll give you a full flick through, but for example we've got the pumpkin here, and my favourite has to be the November spread. This is the planner that I use every day. Here's last year's. I do use this planner mostly every day. I mean, there'll be the occasional day that I don't use it, but as you can see, I do use it every day. I'm really excited to share this, but I'm also really excited to use it myself. The planner will cost £18.50 and it will be available on Pumpkin Productivity from 5 PM today. Genuinely just so excited to share it, so now let's jump into showing you the planner. Alright, so here we go. Here is the planner, and as I say, I just love the cover so much, and of course I had to light a candle because the theme is cozy academia. So as always, we start with an introductory page, and I love the candles around this one. And then we've got the About Me page, and one thing that I found in planners is they don't tend to give you very exciting questions in the About Me section, so definitely wanted to change that in this. So there's a section for writing down things you're excited about for the year, another for biggest motivation, and then I love this little bit at the bottom where you can write down your favourite book, movie and song at the beginning and end of the year to see how it changes. Then there is space for making a key. So first of all, I just added in these icons for when I'm ticking off tasks. And it's just good to have a note of this at the beginning so that everything's coherent. And I also made a colour code, so I went through each of my modules for my masters and I gave them each a colour so I could easily colour code things when needed. And I don't always use a colour code, but it's good to have a sense of one. And then there are these little questions along the sides, so I filled those in too. So next page is the contents page, and I tore out a little part of this New Yorker magazine and stuck it along the side because I love how torn magazine articles look stuck into this, and I would always really encourage people with this planner to customize it and to make it yours and to make it unique and give it that little fun flair which makes it yours. So I also added this vintage stamp. It's a Christmas stamp, but I love the colours of it and I thought it just went quite well with this page. Next there's a self-care section because academics, working hard, all of this is important, but there's only so much you can do if you're not looking after yourself, and I've realised that slowly kind of over the course of my time in education. So at the top, this is just for writing down your priorities, and then you can flick back to this during the year and make sure that you're always sticking to your priorities and living in line with your goals, I suppose. So there's also, just as a follow-up, things that you'll make time for this year. So I went through and noted down, for example, I want to make sure I'm going on daily walks and getting in at least 15 minutes of writing, even when things are really busy with academics. And there's also space for writing down study break ideas and affirmations, including the key one, I deserve to be here, which is a massive thing, I think, for anyone who's going to university. Like, imposter syndrome is such a huge thing, and this is a good affirmation to have. Next is this page for academic goals, where you can write down your subject and then the ideal grade you want to get and how you will achieve it. I had to leave most of this blank because I want to wait to do this until I've had my introductory talks for each of my modules. Oh, and I love the little academic planner illustration, which you can also get as a sticker as well, which you'll see later. So now we've got this place for planning morning and night routines. So it's just in a list format, and the idea is that you can write down key morning and night habits that make you feel good. So for example, I know that having a cold shower in the morning always makes me feel really good, going on a walk in the morning. The intention is when I'm a little bit more settled into the academic year, in the second column, I'll make an actual timed routine. Then this is a new page. This is the monthly goals spread, and there is space for writing down an academic and a personal goal for every month. And this is again just to make sure that you're working towards your bigger goals, and that you kind of have a key focus in mind for that month, which can be useful. So for September, for example, I want to do all of my academic reading. Next, there's a things to accomplish section. So there's space for putting in things you want to do this year, the next 5 years, and then just generally at some point. Now onto the clubs and societies page, which I was so excited to fill out this year. So I went through the Oxford extracurriculars list and did some research, had a look at ones that I wanted to join. This one looks amazing. It's the Oxford University Society of Bibliophiles, but I just made this little mind map of ones I want to join, and then when term starts, you can fill in where your clubs are and kind of what you've signed up for, but that's for later on. There's also this checklist of things you want to learn more about, so if you read something interesting or see something interesting in a lecture, you can write it here. And then this table is for recommendations, because I get recommendations all the time, like books, TV shows, films, music, and this just lets you keep track of everything basically. Now there's a to be read spread, which was in the yearly planner but not in last year's academic planner, and this one is so great. I've been using the one in the yearly planner so much. Again, just a way to kind of keep track of reading, which links in to my favourite pages in the whole of this planner, of course, the books read spread. Again, never seen the spread in a planner before. I really love painting the books because I think it makes the page look so much more beautiful, but you can just write in all of the books that you read here, and there's also a library book log for making sure you don't lose track of a book and forget to return it, which I can do if I don't keep track of them. So next we've got a calendar, and I just like to go through and highlight all of the term dates so I can easily refer to these. And there's also this spread of things to do before the new academic year. So I filled out my to-do list of things I want to do before September. There's a shopping list section too, but I don't actually need to buy anything because I've already done my stationery shop. I've loaded that in a YouTube video actually. And there's also some space for reflecting on things that you want to do this year. So I started on a kind of bucket list for this year, including punting at the River in Oxford, attending an Oxford Union debate, studying in the Ratcliffe Camera. There are so many things I want to do. And now we move in to the actual planner itself, starting in September. So before we do anything else, I want to show you the monthly illustrations. So there is a divider for each month and they're color coded depending on season 2. So for September you can see we've got these ink bottles, and on the other side of the divider I like to add a postcard or a photo because it just makes it more personal. So that's what I was doing here. And then finally on the inside of the planner I added this little postcard of Oxford, and on the back I wanted to customize it with these stickers which we'll be releasing on the website quite soon. These are just illustrations that are in the planner and they're eco, like recyclable vinyl stickers. So I decorated the whole back with this and I just love how crafty it looks. People always ask what my favourite spread in the planner is, and it's so hard to choose, but I think my favourite monthly illustration this time is the November one, which is this study table, and if you look closely all of these pieces of paper have something on, and I love these windows, but I thought I would demonstrate with November what you get at every month and how the planner works usually. So most of the months have some extra pages in between. So for November we've got some academic reflections and also this space for testimonials, which is one of my favourite aspects of the planner actually, where you ask a friend to write this in for you. And then there is space here where you can put a postcard if you want. As you saw, I put in postcards for each month. And then there's a calendar where you can put in key deadlines, especially academic deadlines of course. And then we've got the monthly and the weekly overviews, which we added last year, and I love these so much. I think it just makes planning much more coherent. So let's start with the monthly overviews. So you first of all got a long to-do list section and space here for deadlines where you can put in any key essays or exams that you have coming up. Then we've also got your main goal, an affirmation for this month, and how you'll look after yourself, because self-care as a student is very important. Space for proactive things, exam preparation, and something you're looking forward to, just to keep this a very positive space. And then the weekly overviews are very simple. They are just to-do lists where you can put in the key tasks that you need to get done that week. And then we go straight into the daily planning spreads. So we have 3 pages per week, which is quite a lot of space. It's more than most planners. And every day we've got a big section for writing your to-do list and then 2 columns. So you could use one of these for a due date, one as a checkbox, you could use one for numbering tasks. Use this how you want. And then we've got a space for events, reminders, admin tasks, and then just a little notation of how much time you want to spend working. And slightly different on the weekends, where there's also space for highlights of the week, something you're proud of accomplishing, and topics to come back to in revision. And as you can see too, there are so many little doodles the whole way through the planner. Let's see if I can find a few more. There you go, a little book there. This little toadstool house is probably one of my favourite illustrations from the planner. I also thought I'd quickly show you the extra planning sheets that you have for each of the months. So you've already seen these 2 for September. In November there is academic reflections. Then for December there's space for gift ideas and also a to-do list because the holiday season is always quite hectic. For January we have got 3 spreads. We've got New Year's resolutions, both academic and non-academic, more personal priorities reflections, a bucket list, things you're excited for, and then just notes. February, we've got mid-year reflections, including this massive to-do list for topics you need to come back to in revision, and kind of the intention is here that with the weekly overviews, you write down your topics and you can kind of go through and just compile them all here. And then this is actually a makeshift flashcard sheet, so you can fold on the line and then use this as kind of flashcards. Then for March, we've got a list of reasons to be happy with a beautiful quote from John Lennon. In April, we've got our mid-year reset to-do list. There's lots of space blank here as well, but we've given some suggestions of things you might want to do just to reset for the rest of the year and exam season. Then for May, of course, there's an exam timetable so you can keep track of everything, and a to-do list because there's always so much to do in exam season. Same thing for June, but we've instead got an exam tracker where you can kind of keep track of how your exams went. July, things to do for myself during exam season, so that's just kind of like a self-care spread. And finally for August, we have got a summer bucket list section and also some yearly reflection prompts, which should be really useful. And then finally, right at the end of the planner, we have got some notes pages, of course, always useful, and these are dotted because dotted paper is just so versatile. And we've also got 2 master to-do lists and also a space for tracking things accomplished this year. So every month you can just see how much you're progressing, and also space to stick a timetable. And yeah, there we go. That is the academic planner for 2023 to 2024. We're so excited to be sharing this, and this is how mine is looking. I can't wait to use it next year. Thank you so much for watching. It's always so much fun to set up a planner as well. I used to love watching planner setup videos on YouTube. I still do actually. But just for some key details, so launching today at 5 PM on pumpkinproductivity.com. The link will be in the description. The planner will cost £18.50, which is the same price as last year. So the planner is printed on recycled paper and it can also be recycled. It's also a thick paper, so your fountain pens won't bleed through. You can also use watercolour paints on this and it won't bleed through to the other side. I think that's pretty great, honestly, and was really important to me as well because I like to use dipping pen and ink, and you don't want that bleeding through. Yes, but I'm so excited to share this with you, and I'm really excited for people to start using them. And just as always, thank you so much for your support. Like, even if you don't buy one of the planners, thank you for watching this video, thank you for being here, for supporting the planner. A digital version will also be going up on September 1st. If you're a digital planner and you prefer using a tablet for planning, you can get everything that the planner has, but just digitally. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have more than just a productive week.